welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. I've got the baton for the second half of the show here. Thank you very much for tuning us in. All right, let's take a look and see what the markets are doing, because you don't really care about me, and that's okay. You just care about your money, and I get it. I'm the same way. Let's take a look at corn. And it's not a very good day today across the board. We're kind of giving back a little bit of real estate. We've got a corn market that's down 6.5 cents in the D's to 471 3/4, about half cent off the lows. That'll give you an idea. We've had about a 9-cent range too. So there you go. That tells the story. A nickel lower in March to 489 1/4. How about soybeans? Any relief over there? No, not really. Jan's down. Jan's down 5 3/4 to 13.84 even. March is off 4 3/4 to 13.97 3/4. So I can just tell you right now that we're closer to the lows of the day than the highs of the day. We've got about a 17-cent range in March and something similar in Jan, but still trading kind of heavy, giving back a little bit of what we gained yesterday. And that pretty much is the tone for the rest of the markets here, right? 8 3/4 cents lower in Chicago wheat, 5.63 1/4 last. That's 2 cents off the lows. And look at that. We've had about an 18-cent range, if I do my math correctly. So there you go. That's what's happening in the Chicago wheat market. Again, as we go out the deferreds, we give less back, but we're still between, say, 4 1/4 and 6.5 cents lower, not including the December contract there. Let's go from Chicago to Kansas City and take a look at what's that's got in store for us. 3/4 cent, very small loss there in that D's contract. 6.39 is last. We're 10 cents from the highs and 1.5 cents from the lows. All right, that explains a lot, doesn't it? 1 3/4 cents lower in the March, right behind it to 6.47 3/4. Spring wheat, Minneapolis. Well, that too is lower by about 2 1/4 cents. D trades at 7.32 1/4. That's 3/4 penny off the low of the day, and we're about, so I'm going to call it 6.5 cents from the high. So that's what's going on with the spring wheat. Everything a little bit easier. How about cotton? That's off just a dime, 10 points. 78.58's last there, about 54 points off the lows of the day. So that's actually in the middle of the range. So let's bring in our next guest analyst, Peter Haralambakis. He's with CHS. I think he's at the home office up there in Inver Grove Heights. And one day I think it said Pennsylvania. Was that true or is that wrong? I don't know. Peter.
Yes.
You are a bubbling font of knowledge. Why don't you give us some of your insights here?
Yeah, I wish that's how my daughter and my wife feel also. But, a lot of times, today, we'll take a look at energy. And like you said, some of the other markets were a little softer. I don't necessarily want to label this as we're into holiday mode quite yet, but we're probably getting into that momentum there of holiday trade, lack of liquidity. Even if I'm looking at the energy sector, as we're taking a look at the crude oil, we've got 164 contracts traded thus far, and this is post DOE stats. Keep in mind, on average, we're anywhere from 275,000 a day to 325,000 a day. So that's one thing we'll start paying attention to as we kind of, everybody's taking their PTOs and taking days off here and there. The lack of liquidity or the liquidity thereof should and unfortunately sometimes does provide volatile moments. But again, right now, as we're seeing crude pull back $1.25, we did see some builds in the DOEs. So today's DOEs showed a build of 3.6 million. We were looking for an estimate of 1.7 million. Keep in mind also, this is over a 2-week span as we had that delayed rollout with the weekly petroleum stats or status report. So looking at the distillate stocks, we saw a draw of 1.4 million. Estimates were for right around 1.2, 1.3, so spot on there almost. Gasoline stocks, we drew 1.5. We were looking for a build of 622,000. So that was even a little bit more friendly, but price action isn't necessarily showing that that is anything of concern right now, as RBOB for December delivery is down 3 cents. Jan delivery down about 3 cents as well. So no real adverse reaction from that draw versus build on the estimates there. So aside from that, we're still kind of leaning towards what's the Fed going to do? How are we looking on the macro side? We did have that CPI data pepper our headlines this week, a little bit more favorable along the lines of whether or not the Fed was going to raise rates or end raising rates. And the camp of the ending of raising rates is kind of leaning and taking off along those lines. So aside from that, it's not necessarily right at the SPR number. We're actually underneath the SPR buyback number from our administration. The administration had mentioned 79 level to buy back some crude to refill that SPR.
Right.
We're at 77. Again, even though they still need to kind of go forward and purchase some more crude over the next handful of months,
they're not going to do it.
The markets themselves aren't necessarily saying that there's a concern, right?
They're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it potentially, right? So again,
that's what I think.
Geopolitically, there's concerns. So there's going to be those risks. But again, it's starting to feel like holiday mode. Crack margins or refinery margins are kind of steady as she goes. There's not much. There's no axe to grind, right? So that's kind of the vibe out there.
Okay, Scott. Real quick, I'm an old man, Peter. I'm a very old man. I've been doing it a long time. Can you tell me the difference between PTO days and vacation days?
You tell me the difference. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm the same way.
I don't know. All of a sudden, everybody calls it PTO, and I'm like, PTO? It's like,
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know where it shifted. Overdrive when
I
was a kid. I don't understand. I mean, now it's.
I don't know when it shifted.
Is vacation like? Is that like racist or something nowadays? We can't say vacation days anymore? I mean, I don't know. All the young kids, it's PTO. All right, anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Just having fun with you. But anyway, thanks for coming on. Appreciate a great insight. I love the energy stuff. Thank you very much. It's Peter Haralambakis. He's with CHS. We're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more Livestock with me after this.